Can we have too much of a good thing? Yes. Yes, we can. Okay, folks, just turn off your critical, logical thinking right now. And now I want you to turn on your childlike sense of wonder, because we're gonna need it for this film. This is definitely the silliest movie I have seen all year. Maybe this whole century, if anything. No, I think that's an exaggeration. Not just this whole year. It's worse than Love and Thunder, Thor. It's like they went, oh, I like what you guys did in Marvel. Why don't we just bring that to DC and turn it all the way to 12? That's what it is. However, like I told you, put on your childlike sense of wonder, because this film is for children. It's not for adults at all. And if you are an adult going to see this movie, take a child with you so you can justify the reason why you are sitting there. I know this movie is gonna flop. I don't want it to, because I grew up in the 80s, and I'm so glad we have technologies to see these films get made into reality. And I don't want this film to flop, but I know this film is going to totally flop. It's just going to. It's one of those ones that it's just going to. I mean, I think sometimes I get proven wrong about these things, but this one seems like it might tank. I don't want it to. I think I've just been ranting the whole time. Let's get into this movie. This film is about the gang of kids now well into their superhero phase, running around saving people, wrecking stuff. One day, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu's character turn up from a different realm, wanting to take over this realm. This realm being Earth, not our Earth, I suppose, just Philadelphia for some reason, because they had been locked out of, I guess, traveling to different realms by the wizard played by Djimon Hounsou. If you don't know who Djimon Hounsou is, he's the black guy from Gladiators, and also he tends to pop up in Marvel movies. I think he was in the first Star-Lord, no, not Star-Lord, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I don't know how he keeps switching Marvel and DC, but I know his pockets look pretty good. To take over this realm, they have to mend a staff. Now, this staff or stick was broken by Shazam in the first movie, and this staff or stick can only be mended by the wizard. The wizard wields the power to say Shazam, and then the stick will somehow come together, which now allows them to travel in between realms. Which is weird because they were already in this realm, but I think it also helps them build their realm inside our realm, which is Earth. Well, Philadelphia in this case, because that's just it. That's the story. So once they've got all that sorted, then the takeover begins. It somehow begins with a weird tree growing out. And oh God, this movie. Well, that's the movie right there. The kids are gonna love it. And if you're wondering who this film is for, this film is for kids. It's also a film that anyone who enjoys comic book movies should watch, because then, you've been following this story so far, so you might as well see this one as well. But I feel as though this one's a bit of a hard one for anyone to go and see. Childlike sense of wonder. Just turn it on and you'll be fine. It's entertaining. I'll give it that. It's definitely entertaining. It's kind of funny. Now, the things I like about this movie, it's there is one epic surprise at the end of this film. It's kind of like they did in the first film, so I'm not going to ruin that for you, because I want you to at least enjoy one thing, because it ties into the other DC comics as well. Even though they have this whole debacle where everyone's getting fired and a whole new phase is going to be started by James Gunn and co. Also, a second thing that I like about this film is the director and his wife make a cameo in the disaster scenes of this film. I'm able to spot them because I personally follow them on their YouTube, and they make little short films, and it's sort of like a place where you can go and learn some little techniques, because he's an indie filmmaker. He's very down to earth, so I love the guy. The fact that this movie is not for me, I don't think probably has anything to do with him. It probably has a lot to do with the studio heads, because they got to make these films PG because they probably want to sell figurines. They can't make it dark. The story has to be palatable for parents and their children, because they assume for some reason that all kids would prefer something that is very playful, and they are probably right. I don't know, but they're the rich people. I'm not. I digress. Now, Jaimon Honsu is not necessarily known as a funny guy, so I was absolutely shocked, and I thoroughly enjoyed him with his comic relief in this movie. He had such good dry humor, and I really enjoyed that for this film. I don't know who, maybe it's the director that told him to bring that out, but he was actually pretty funny. So I enjoyed most of his scenes because of he's just dry, and I love that. I'm a dry humor person. Now, things I hate about this film. Okay, buckle up. In the scenes that have kids at school, one of the boys who carries a crutches and he's got the bad feet, or he's got the bad leg, is beaten up by these bullies at school. And it seems as though there are no adults in this entire universe, and all the adults just let kids get beaten up. The bullies have zero consequences. They can push this kid, punch him in the stomach, he lays on the floor, the principal comes there and goes, "You guys," and just moves on. So that just annoys me, because reality is just not there. It's not realistic that kids will be going around bullying people and everyone would be aloof about it. It's just annoying. It's plain silly. Oh yeah, there's a dragon in this film. Kind of like, maybe they just called the guys from Game of Thrones and told them, "Can you make us one of those dragons, CGI dragons?" Now, the thing I hate about this dragon is that it has holes in its wings. How does it stay in the air? It has holes in its wing. It doesn't make sense that it could fly. Now, let's add another annoying thing in that, is that the superheroes fly excessively fast. Like, they fly like Superman would, and somehow this dragon with holes in its wing catches up to them. Just catch. What is going on? Didn't anyone else watch this and edit and just go, "Hey, this is kind of silly. Like, it's got holes. Birds don't fly with..." Calm down. Birds don't fly with holes. Dragons have wings, holes in them. It just doesn't work. Okay, this one might get me slightly canceled. I don't know. I don't also care. The foster home parents are very mismatched. In my opinion, they are. The wife is a total hottie, and the husband is not specifically a hottie. They just don't match. Now, I'm not saying that hot people don't date people who are not hot. I'm just saying that let's put a little reality in this, because women usually marry up, not marry down, especially if they're attractive. They're attractive women don't marry down, they marry up. And in this case, this woman is married to a man who's running, well, they both are running a foster home that is not even funded at all, and they're laying in this house that they don't even own. That just doesn't happen in our reality. And I just like, what those TV sitcoms where the husband's like fat and ugly and the wife is hot somehow, like that happens a lot. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get cancelled. It's just unrealistic in this environment. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so there is a scene with Skittles. So I'm sure someone had, came up to the executives and just go, "Let's put in some Skittles." They snuck in Skittles product placements and slogans. "Taste the rainbow." Are you kidding me? Not to mention, they said it like 3 times. I understand once, I'm like, fair enough, that's cool, I can understand product placement, someone's got to pay the bills. Twice, I'm like, okay, yeah, the joke is fine, I get it. Taste the rainbow, haha. The 3rd time, that's just irresponsible. I think you should save your money and watch this on streaming, because I'm sure it's going to come out on streaming, probably HBO. I don't think it's going to be Disney Plus. I know this film is going to flop. I just can feel it, because in my cinema, there were like 6 people. And that's not good. It's not good. Should you watch this movie? Well, It depends. If you're an adult, I would advise against it. However, if you have kids, then sit back and enjoy this film for what it is. I told you in the beginning, come in with a childlike sense of wonder because you are going to need it. Also, make sure the kids that you came in with are your kids, because it'll be weird if they're not. But then again, I also think you should see this film because the cameos at the end of the credits are worth sticking around for, especially if you're a comic book movie loving person like I am. See, the thing about Marvel and DC is they're gonna take my money every time because I like the advancements of technology and I like the escape of seeing superheroes because, I don't know, I'm a nerd. But this film was a little bit more ridiculous, I think. And Thor Love and Thunder actually feels like an even more superior film based on the shenanigans that went on in this film. That's my 2 cents, and thanks for sticking around. I hope you stuck around. Most people just leave after 30 seconds, so, thanks for staying.